Mohammad Bakri, the fearless Palestinian actor and director best known for the documentary Jenin, has passed away, leaving behind a legacy that refuses to be silenced. His departure marks the end of a life lived at the intersection of art, resistance, and unflinching truth. Bakri was more than a filmmaker, he was a witness. Through his work, he carried the voices of the unheard into spaces that often tried to shut them out. Born into a Palestinian family inside historic Palestine, Bakri grew up surrounded by stories shaped by displacement, memory, and survival. Those early experiences would later define his artistic path. He entered the world of acting first, earning acclaim on stage and screen across the Arab world and in Israel. Yet fame never softened his political conscience. Instead, it sharpened it. Bakri believed art was meaningless if it did not confront injustice. That belief culminated in Jenin, a documentary that would change his life forever. The film focused on the testimonies of residents of the Jenin refugee camp after a devastating military assault. Rather than statistics or official statements, Bakri chose human voices. Mothers, fathers, children, and elders spoke directly to the camera. Their grief, anger, confusion, and pain were left unfiltered. This raw honesty made the film powerful. It also made it dangerous. Jenin was immediately met with controversy. Authorities banned it, accusing Bakri of defamation and one-sided storytelling. Legal battles followed him for years. Courtrooms became as familiar to him as film sets. Financial pressure mounted. Social and professional isolation intensified. But Bakri did not apologize for telling the story. He insisted that silencing victims was a greater crime than offending power. For him, cinema was a moral act. Despite the backlash, the film spread globally. It was screened in universities, underground theaters, and activist spaces. Audiences far from Palestine encountered realities they had never been shown. For many, Jenin was not just a documentary. It was an awakening. Bakri paid a heavy personal price for that awakening. Roles became scarce. Funding disappeared. Travel was restricted. Still, he remained outspoken. He continued acting, writing, and speaking wherever he was allowed. His voice, though pressured, never broke. As an actor, Bakri brought depth and dignity to every role. He portrayed complex Palestinian characters without caricature or compromise. On stage, his performances were intense, poetic, and deeply political. He believed theater was a living conversation with society. Even in moments of exhaustion, Bakri refused to retreat into silence. He often said that fear was the final victory of oppression. To remain visible was itself a form of resistance. Younger artists looked to him as a symbol of courage. Many credited him for giving them permission to speak freely. Bakri understood that legacy is not comfort. It is consequence. He accepted the consequences. In interviews, he spoke calmly about harassment and lawsuits. He framed them not as personal attacks, but as attacks on truth itself. This perspective gave him strength. It also gave meaning to his suffering. As news of his passing spread, tributes poured in from around the world. Artists, activists, and ordinary viewers shared memories of how his work affected them. Some remembered the first time they saw Jenin. Others remembered meeting him and being struck by his humility. Many spoke of his warmth behind the defiant public image. Bakri was known to laugh easily. He loved poetry, conversation, and long evenings of debate. He believed dialogue was essential, even when painful. Yet he never confused dialogue with surrender. His passing leaves a void in Palestinian cultural life. It is the loss of a storyteller who refused to sanitize reality. It is the loss of an artist who understood that memory is a battlefield. But his work remains. The images, voices, and testimonies he preserved cannot be erased. They continue to circulate, to disturb, to challenge. In that sense, Bakri has not been silenced. He has multiplied. Future generations will discover his films and ask why they were forbidden. They will ask why truth was feared. They will find answers in history. Mohammad Bakri lived as he created, boldly and honestly. He chose the difficult path when easier ones were available. That choice defined him. In death, as in life, he stands as a reminder that art can be an act of defiance. His journey ends, but his message endures. Truth, once spoken, does not die. And neither does the courage of those who dare to speak it.